Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Friday the 4th of April 2025. In today's Millwall news, we start off with this. This is from vigesti.me. It's been automatically translated by my browser from Montenegrin to English. Or I think it's Montenegrin. Maybe it's like Serbian or something like that. The Matija Sarkic Memorial in April in Brussels, the younger categories of Aston Villa, Wolves, Anderlecht and Millwall. The memorial will become traditional and Aston Villa wants to take over the organisation, says Matija's brother Danilo. So this tournament is taking place at the moment, Friday and Saturday, in Brussels. And the reason why we're not hearing much about it is because it's for very young children. So it's under 13s. The Memorial Football Tournament for Matija Sarkic, dedicated to the prematurely deceased goalkeeper of the Montenegrin national team, will be held on April the 4th and 5th in Brussels and will become traditional. The tournament will be attended by the youngest categories, under 13 of the clubs in which Matija was a member, as well as guest clubs from Belgium. 4 teams from England arrive: Aston Villa, Wolverhampton, Millwall and Birmingham, all 4 for which Matija defended, and there were also 4 Belgians: Anderlecht, the club where he started his career in the junior categories, as well as Standard Liège, Antwerp and Leuven. It's just, am I having a stroke? No, it's just changed language because this website keeps updating. Because on the right hand side, it's got this live feed. So where were we? Let's see if we can get through it before it does it again. In total, 8 respectable clubs will compete in honour of the goalkeeper of the net, who died suddenly on June the 15th last year when his career was just in its infancy. The organisers of the memorial are Matija's family and the British school in Brussels. At that school, Matija's eldest brother Danilo works as a football coach. We've got a lot of conditions like in the Premier League, and this is the school where Matija used to come. He used to train to keep in shape in the break between seasons, and several times he gave lectures to the children, school students. He talked to them in his shared experience, says Danilo Sarkic. All of Matija's former clubs enthusiastically accepted the invitation. We sent an email to Aston Villa, and it only took them 20 minutes to respond, of course, in the affirmative. And when a great club like Aston Villa comes, it's easier for the others to come. And they even said that they would like to take over the organisation of the memorial, maybe from next season, which would be great because it's a club that has a big budget. There was also an idea that the youngest footballers of the Podgorica future would also participate in the tournament. It was not realised because of the high cost of such a trip, but I hope that it will be realised on another occasion at another memorial, said Danilo. Matija Sarkic, defending at Anderlecht's score as an 8-year-old, spent a whole decade at the academy of the biggest Belgian club and then moved to Aston Villa, where in addition to working at a youth age, he first encountered senior football. Villa sent him out on loan to Wigan, Stratford, and Scottish side Livingstone, I presume, where he stepped onto the biggest stage, defended brilliantly, and Wolverhampton brought his contract in 2020. New loans followed: Shrewsbury, Birmingham, then Stoke, growing up in a strong championship, and then the move to Millwall, it turned out Matija's last club. He defended the goal of the senior national team of Montenegro 9 times, and died only 10 days after his best game in his favourite jersey against Belgium in Brussels. So there you go. This is happening at the moment. It's for children. So we kind of assumed when this was announced it might be like a thing for a senior team, and we were like licking our lips and there's some kind of pre-season thing. But no, it's for children. So no, if that's what they want, then God bless them for that, and rest in peace, Matija Sarkic. Now I'm going to touch on this. This is the updated Professional Development League Under-21 South table. After today's games, Millwall weren't playing today, but obviously we're in a title race, so I'm going to give you the details as they come up, because it's quite exciting, isn't it? Quite exciting. So today, 2 of the teams that we're competing with for a place in the top 2, Bournemouth, they won at home to Bristol City, they won 2-0, and Brentford, they went up to Burnley and they won 2-1. So the table has changed, and the team we're playing next Tuesday, Sheffield United, but we're playing them at York City. They won 2-0 against their local rival Sheffield Wednesday today. So if we go back up and look at the table, so Brentford are now 2 points ahead of us. We played the same amount of games. That was their game in hand. Bournemouth still have one game in hand of us, but they are 6 points behind. So there is a little bit of breathing space, but I'm sure if we do slip up, they will be there to capitalise. And Charlton, of course, have fallen away, as we expected, because basically their record is that they've beaten the teams in the Northern League quite easily, and they've come into a little bit of trouble against teams in the South, because the Southern Division is stronger than the Northern Division, apart from probably the top 2 teams in the Northern Division, who are very, very good teams. So there you go. Now moving on to first team action, we've got this player interview from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press, who are on TikTok, by the way. Do you have TikTok? Do you have TikTok, David? Oh no, not me, Alan. This is from Aidomo Emakhu. Stop-start Millwall career has been frustrating. I've learned to listen to my body. I listen to my body all the time, and it goes all the time. But I don't think he means that. I'm sure he doesn't. So, Aidomo Emakhu has described his Millwall career up until this point as stop-start and admits his burning desire to play regularly has backfired in the past. The 21-year-old has made 11 championship starts with a further 29 appearances off the bench since signing from Shamrock Rovers in January 2023. Emakhu told the South London Press that there have been occasions when he's played through niggles because of wanting an extended run in the first team. The former Republic of Ireland under-21 international missed the start of 2025 with a groin injury, not featuring for new head coach Alex Neil until February 18th against Preston North End. I haven't played as much as I would have liked to play in my Millwall career, but it's all part of the process, said Emakhu. It's the highs and lows of being a footballer, everyone must think it's easy. You do what you love, but they don't see the times you spend in the gym. If you're injured, or if you're on the physio's bed, it's quite tough, especially on me in terms of being stop-start. I've had a couple of injuries. Some of them were down to when I first came in, and my body wasn't used to being the intensity of English football. And the other stuff, was doing my own doing in terms of feeling a knock and playing through it and paying the price afterwards. Emakhu has revealed that his groin was giving us distress signals. After he started the 1-0 win over Blackburn on December the 21st, he lost it just 13 minutes in the following fixture against Norwich City. I was feeling quite a bit of discomfort in the Blackburn game, but adrenaline gets you through when you haven't played or started for so long. I was taking painkillers because I wanted to be available for Norwich, and I thought I had quite a good chance of starting it, but deep inside, something's not right. For the sake of not losing momentum, you don't want to disrupt that, so I got a massage and strapped it up. And I knew, if I wasn't careful, something was going to go. And looking back with hindsight, it's quite easy to say I shouldn't have played that game. I won't say I regret it, but I've definitely learned from it. It's about when to say, your body needs a break when you're available. Every footballer wants to be on the pitch playing every week, and as a younger age groups, when you're feeling a niggle, you can always play through it. But now, it's more demanding. Your body requires, a massive workload and a greater demand. Emakhu has not scored in 21 matches this season. Okay, his only Millwall goal remains an expertly taken consolation at Norwich in August 2023. Every winger wants goals and assists, but I don't think stats tell the full story, said Emakhu. There are other ways an attacking player or any player can have a positive impact on the game, and I feel that I definitely have, I've played games where I impacted heavily, but I may not have come away with a goal or assist. You go back to the Watford game in the start of the season, the first goal for Dunk, the ball comes in from me, but comes off someone else before it goes to him, so it doesn't count as assist. In the Derby game, recently, Josh scores the winner, but Sav misses the first one, and Josh gets the rebound, and the ball comes in from the left from me. So it doesn't go down as an assist, but I'm happy because I'm impacting the game in another way. And you might have one moment, and it's important you make it count. As long as I'm helping the team, I don't worry about the goals and assists because I know they'll come eventually. I grew up scoring goals. You want to maintain that throughout your career, but as the level goes up, you need to find different solutions and ways to perfect that. Emakhu signed a new long-term deal in December 2023. When I signed the contract, there's been a lot of change since then. You think your one manager is going to be there a long time, and you're going to be working under him for the next couple of years. And you've got to adjust and what the club is doing and the vision they have. And, back then it really interested me and I felt comfortable and at home. And it felt like the right place for me to be in this moment of my career. And that's why I signed a new deal. And I'm still learning my trade, so as we speak, I don't look back on it with any sort of regrets. So there you go. Aidomo Emakhu. Listen to your body. Now, moving on to this from southernnews.co.uk. Millwall boss: Sunderland loss has not changed our desire to attack every game. Alex Neil said Millwall's 1-0 loss at Sunderland last Saturday, March 29th, had not changed the Lions' desire to attack the remaining 7 games of the season to try and sneak into the final playoff spot. Mill narrowly lost away to the 4th place Black Cats on the same day that fellow playoff hopefuls West Bromwich Albion, Bristol City, Watford, Blackburn Rovers and Sheffield Wednesday also dropped points. That defeat means the Lions are 6 points off the 6th place Baggies, who are winless in the last 3 games. When asked if the result will alter Millwall's approach for the rest of the season, Neil said, I don't think it's changed. I don't think it's changed a lot. Neil said, listen, I don't think it's changed a lot. The fact that there's still 6 points between us and the playoffs, there's still some hope that we can try and win a few more matches and get as close as we can. I don't think that anything's really changed, and even if we lose the game on Saturday, it wouldn't change our outlook in terms of attacking the rest of the games. We want to try and win every game. We understand that the games are diminishing by the week, so we understand that they become more and more important, but for us our focus is on purely winning the next match. Millwall are at the bottom of a pack of 9 teams chasing the final 2 playoff spots with only 8 points separating 5th place Coventry City and the Lions in 13th. When asked if he thought the number of teams competing for the top 6 was rare, Neil said, every season is different in the Championship, but I've had a lot of seasons where this has been the case. Whether it's really tight at the bottom or really tight at the top, that middle pack, there's a lot of them. And that can sort of go one way or the other, and although there's obviously not a huge amount of games left, and the Championship's so competitive, and I think every team feels the same way, and the fact that, we could do a little bit better, or if we didn't lose that one and we didn't lose this one, we would be here. And there's a lot of ifs and buts and maybes, but for a lot of clubs, once you get into that sort of nitty-gritty of the season, from our point of view, we just need to attack every game as it comes. And, the next game's the most important game for us. And we want to try and win it. And if we win it, we'll take stock of where we're at afterwards. And then we can attack the next one from there. Well said. Well said. What I did miss the attacking against Sunderland. Maybe I blinked. But I'm pretty sure we only had 2 shots on target in that game from 5 shots. So, although, to be fair, the early goal for them did kind of probably interrupt our plans for that game. But, although you would imagine if you're losing a must-win game, then you've got more time to attack because you need to start going for it. So, it's probably better to go a goal down early on than to go a goal down in the 85th minute and only have about 10 minutes to change it. I'm just saying. Now, moving on to this, again from southernnews.co.uk. Alex Neil admits frustration with injury problems in forward areas, but stresses issue is not exclusive to Millwall. Alex Neil admitted the number of injuries that Millwall suffered to their forward line was frustration, but pointed out that many clubs in the Championship also had lengthy injury lists. The Lions will take on Portsmouth at the Den on Saturday without 2 forwards. Club record signing Camille Negley and Femi Aziz, while Rahis Bangor Williams' availability is up in the air. Neil has also to contend with injuries to Josh Coburn, Aidomo Emakhu, Macaulay Langstaff, Duncan Watmore and Aaron Connolly, all of whom also play in the forward areas. What's more frustrating is the fact that, it's in the same area of the pitch at the top end, Neil said. If it's spread throughout the team, that's why you've got a squad to cope with suspensions, injuries or bits like that. But when it comes at the top end, that makes a difference, if you like, in terms of getting goals and winning points. Yeah, then I think there's a frustration. But what you find is because we all only cared about Millwall, think it's exclusive to us. But looking at all the other teams and watching other teams and preparing for games, it's certainly not exclusive to us. There's a lot of teams in the league at the moment that've got a lot of injuries across different areas of the pitch, and you just need to try and make do. And that's why, come to the end of the season, the strongest squads end up in the best positions because they can cope with the loss of 2 or 3 key players, throughout a season, and they've got likewise replacements to come in. I do think there's an element of consistency there as well, Nottingham Forest are third in the Premier League at the moment, and they've used the least amount of players, so I think consistency and that keeping that run of availability is vitally important. I know when Vincent Kompany was at Burnley, his remit was signing players that had over 90% availability before they took them in as well. Hence the reason why, when they won the league, they used very limited players as well as in comparison to other teams. Certainly continuity and keeping people fit does have a bearing on where you're going to land in the season. Because, if you got most of your best players fit for the majority of the season, of course you're going to give yourself the best chance in every game. That's true. I think there's a thing called survivorship bias. They won the league not because they had it's not because they had the players fit that they won the league. It's because they won the league because they had players fit. If you understand, did that make sense? I'm unsure. I don't know, but you understand. Like the team. That's what I mean. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't even know what I mean. What am I talking about? Let's crack on. When asked if he thinks he has had a fully fit squad to pick from since being appointed Lions boss on December the 30th, Neil said, "Oh, no, not off the top of my head. But no, I would think there's always been 1 or 2 that's not been available. And that might be proven wrong. I'm not quite sure. This is just me sort of summarising off the top of my head. I generally don't think that we've had everybody available because when everybody's available, there's people who obviously would naturally need to miss the squad that I don't think I've ever missed a squad because I can only pick a certain amount of players. And that's obviously really challenging when everybody's fit. So there you go. But that's the thing, innit? We do sign these players who have injury problems because we can sign them because they have injury problems. Tanganga himself, Bart Biakowski. There's a question mark over whether they're, fit enough. So, it either makes them available to us or it reduces their cost, which in turn makes them available to us. That's how it works. That's the kind of advantage that we take. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You have a really good player who can't play every game. He does bits and pieces. But it would be nice, if the players could have a run of games and then they got injured. But we have teams to pick up the players that have constant problems where they're in and out of the squad. And with the same problem, hamstrings and stuff like that. So, talking of injuries, let's have an injury update ahead of tomorrow's game. This is again from the southernnews.co.uk. Millwall head coach provides injury update on Raheem Bangor-Williams and Zach Sturge ahead of Portsmouth clash. Millwall boss Alex Neil said the availability of Raheem Bangor-Williams and Zach Sturge for tomorrow's clash with Portsmouth will be determined over the next 24 hours. Bangor-Williams missed Millwall's 1-0 loss to Sunderland on March 29th with an ankle injury sustained on the international duty with the England elite squad, the under-20s. The 20-year-old was initially ruled out for 7 to 10 days, but Neil said there's a chance he could make the squad. He'll be touch and go for this one, so we'll have to make a late call on him in terms of how he plays, feels, Neil said. That will be determined on how he feels, so if he feels that he could play a part, then we'll love that to be the case, but I'm not so sure at the moment. Neil told News It Then on Tuesday that Sturge rolled his ankle a little bit and would be assessed ahead of an intended start for the under-21s. The left-back did not feature for Kevin Nugent's side as they run out 4-1 winners against Barnsley. He's very similar to these, so it'll be based on how Zach's feeling, Neil said. Unfortunately, he didn't feel well enough to play on Tuesday for the under-21s. He did a bit of work with physios on Tuesday and Wednesday, so we'll take a view on him again tomorrow. So there you go. Now, Another injury. This one seems to be the most bizarre one. Again, at the time this was announced, I didn't understand why we signed him, but this is from southernnews.co.uk. So Mill boss hopes to have Zach Lovelace back for pre-season, but admits injury rehab is not always straightforward. So he's going to be back for pre-season for 1 or 2 games and then get injured again. Alex Neil said that if Zach Lovelace's rehab from knee injury is seamless, then the 19-year-old forward will be available for pre-season. Lovelace, who became Mill's second youngest ever professional player on December 29th, 2021, rejoined the lines from Glasgow Rangers on the final day of the January transfer window, 3 years after he swapped South East London for Glasgow. However, Lovelace has had to wait to make his second Mill debut after undergoing an operation on his knee in February. When asked on Thursday if the club had put together a rehab plan for the forward for over the summer, Neil said, like a knee injury, we'll see how it heals and we'll see how he can build himself back. If his rehab is seamless, then, Zach probably will be available for pre-season. But, not all things like that are straightforward, and there's different stages that he's going to have to go through, so we'll see how that develops, So, yeah. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre signing. Makes no sense. He's been injured 3 or 4 times since he's left. If his name wasn't Zach Lovelace, we wouldn't sign someone with that injury record at all. Now, moving on to this. Joe Bryan. I don't think it's fair. Mill boss Alex Neil asked about Joe Bryan's long-term future. So this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. What is he talking about? What is not fair? Come on, Alex, what's not fair? Mill head coach Alex Neil has remained coy on Joe Bryan's den future. The 31-year-old left-back has been in fine form and is out of contract at the end of the season. Neil, asked if he wanted to keep Bryan, told the South London Press, I don't think it's fair to talk about any individual. That's a collective thing of how the squad is going to look next year and how we're going to shape it. The last thing I'm going to do is talk about individuals before I speak to them. Joe is one of the many players we've got coming out of contract in the summer, and we'll see where we go with him. When I first came in, there were a couple of own goals and stuff like that, and there were a couple of position issues we needed to try and remedy. But ultimately, players have decided how well they play by decisions they make in possession and out of possession, and how they use the ball. If they win their duels, then they win their tackles. So Joe's been very, very consistent recently, and his level of performance has been excellent, and we're hoping that's going to continue. So there you go. Obviously it's not down to him, to Alex Neil. I assume he has some kind of input. You would hope so. But here's the thing, however well Joe Bryan is playing lately, is there an option that's is cheaper, value for money? Can we get someone who is as good, maybe younger and cheaper? We don't know, but I mentioned it the other day about the curse of the replacement left back that's coming after Joe Bryan's position. Adam Malachi injured, Callum Scanlon injured, Zach Sturge, he's injured now. So don't try and take Joe Bryan's place away. He's got some kind of wicker man magic going on that if you do that, you end up injured. So watch your backs. Now, I'm going to start talking about tomorrow's game. So Alex Neil warns against underestimating dangerous Portsmouth and highlights key statistic Millwall and Plymouth lead the league in. What's that then? Shots off target. I don't know. This is from the southernnews.co.uk. Let's see what they're talking about. What are you talking about, Will? Alex Neil insisted that Millwall would not underestimate a dangerous Portsmouth side ahead of their trip to the Den on Saturday, April the 5th. Pompey have won 5 in their last 8, including a 1-0 win against second place Leeds United at home. Well, we've done that. That's not that hard, is it? Although they have not fared as well on the road, only winning 2 away games all season. Oh, here we go. Remember, was it Oxford and Hull, Luton, all these teams? Oh, they haven't done anything away from home. And what their next game's at Millwall. And then what do? They win the game. Oh my God, here we go. So the Lions have already beaten Portsmouth at Fratton Park twice this season, 1-0 in the EFL Cup first round on August the 13th and a 1-0 league win on January the 28th, but Neil does not think that gives them an edge heading into the tie. I don't think that makes any difference at this level. You look at the results, they're so sporadic. I was watching Portsmouth versus Sheffield United this morning, and Portsmouth were really good in the game, so I don't think Portsmouth are there to be underestimated. They're a dangerous team. I think because we're at home, everybody just thinks we're going to lock up and win the game. And it's certainly not going to be as simple as that. They've been a tough opponent for a lot of teams. They beat Leeds and different teams like that this season as well. They're very different from everyone else. They're really, really aggressive in terms of pressing the ball. I think in the last 15 games, only Ofsum Portsmouth have had the best teams at getting the ball back. So it's going to be a challenge. So you have the two best teams of the last 15 games. Obviously, I love how, again, the last 15 games. Why did Alex Neil say the last 15 games? Because I think that's how long he's been in charge for. He's literally like, he doesn't care, because he's just like, what have this team done under me that I can fix and look at and improve and change? He's the last 15 games. Like, the rest of it don't matter. Like, that wasn't me. I love that. He leaves these little lines in that you need to interpret. Like, you don't, on the face of it, they don't. Oh, why has he said that? If you think about it, why he said that, it's the ego, it's the bravado. I love it. I love it. Very, very subtle with it. I love it. So the two best teams in the last 15 games are getting the ball back. So what we're going to see is Millwall will have the ball, and then Portsmouth are going to take it off us. And then Portsmouth are going to have the ball, and we're going to take it off them. So this is going to be the shittest game all fucking season then. Probably 0-0. Two teams that just keep giving the ball away to each other. Should be cracking, eh? Should be cracking. Fantastic. What game to look forward to. So what does the Portsmouth manager have to say? This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, which is the South London Press. A really evolved Pompey boss makes Millwall admission ahead of a championship clash. Portsmouth boss John Musinho says Millwall have evolved as a footballing side. The Lions host Pompey at the Den tomorrow, with Alex Neil's side needing all 3 points to keep their playoff hopes alive. Mihailo Ivanovic's first half goal was the difference in late January when the two sides last met. Pompey are set to secure their championship status at the first time of asking after winning promotion from League One last season. Where's he from? He's English, isn't he? Oh, they're a really good side, said Messina. We saw that at Fratton Park. I've seen that too in the last couple of games they played. I thought they were really unlucky against Sunderland not to take more from the game. They lost 1-0, but they played some really good football. You know, they've really evolved as a footballing side, and they've fritz all over the pitch. We expect a really tough game. You know, any time you go away to Millwall, it's always going to be a difficult game. John Messina there. Now, moving on to this. This is from millwallfc.co.uk. We have some news of stuff around the ground, which Mark Fairbrother may have been alluding to. He said there were going to be improvements around the ground, and some of them would be seen sooner rather than later. Something to that effect, paraphrasing him there. So obviously tickets are still on sale. There's this. There is a new bar. And it seems to be double. There seems to be stairs going on top. What's that for? Is that the bandstand for the band to play? Is the band gonna go on top of the bar? I don't know. Or do you go up there to drink? Is that like space saving? That's very weird. I don't know what that's about. But you can see it's around the bar, the back. I call it, because obviously that's opposite the front. It's near the Memorial Garden. So that should be nice. You know, loads of people drinking. Hopefully not vomiting in the Memorial Garden. How much? What was that? How much? Cocktails. Ooh. Strawberry daiquiri, pina colada, £9.20. Oh, it's in a can. And it's in a can. It's not even fresh. They don't even make it. They don't even shake it. They don't even do any of that. Throw it up in the air. No, £9.20 for a can. For a can of pina colada. Fucking hell, taking the piss. £5 for Lucky Saint. Oh, is this being run by Shep and Neem as well? Because they got the Spitfire Lager. They got the Hurley Man. Obviously, it's not the same Hurley Man as back in the day, apparently, you know. I think they might change the recipe and made it weaker, you know. It's funny. Kids these days, they can't handle it, can they? So they had to change it. They got cider there. Yeah. It's £3 for a small can of Coke. £3. £3. Fucking hell. Yeah, so there you go. Again, be interesting. Why is it double decked? They don't tell us. I don't know. Will you be allowed up there? I don't know. Or is that for the band to play? Because that would make sense if the band was put up there, so everybody can see them. But then, you know, or what about if you have like fucking gospel choir? They can't all fit up there. You know, that won't be good. So there you go. There's a new bar. So if you want, you have to go around. If you're in around the front, you have to go around the back to get to it. Now, Millwall message board. Are there any vexillologists amongst you? What country is that flag of? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Did you get it? No. All close, no. Not Norway. That is Iceland. That's the flag of Iceland. Your mum's gone to Iceland, certainly with some good-looking men like that there. No doubt she has a filthy old whore. No, I'm joking. But yeah, that's Iceland. So, time for another Mill message board from millfc.co.uk. A very special happy 50th birthday to lifelong Mill fan Paul, a dedicated supporter through thick and thin, and a proud army veteran of 26 years. Your family is incredibly proud of you, and we hope you have an unforgettable day at the Den. That could be good or bad, so let's hope it's a good unforgettable day at the Den. And there he is. I wonder if he still looks like that. 50 years old, and that was taken 49 years ago. Man, do you remember that? You remember photo albums? When you would have photos in books, and you would read, you would watch, look at them with your family, and it would be very fun, because they would all make, oh, look at you back then, look at you, look at your hair, what were you wearing? And there's Paul there, 49 years ago. 49 years ago. If you want to be on a Millwall message board for a future home game, which is what not many left now, we've got Middlesbrough, Norwich and Swansea, contact slo@millfc.co.uk. With or without a photo, you know, you don't have to have a photo like that, but there you go. Now, matchday mascots for tomorrow's game. Introducing Millwall Football Club's matchday mascots for Saturday Sky Bet Championship visit of Portsmouth. This is from millfc.co.uk. We've got Max Stevens. He's 9 years old. He loves football. His dog Ruby. And playing on his Xbox, and his favourite player is Jafet Tanganga. Next we have Kalamadu. He's 10 years old. He's a big Millwall fan who loves watching his team in action. When he's not cheering on Millwall, he enjoys playing football, cricket, kickboxing and basketball. His favourite Millwall player is Femi Aziz, and he is predicting a 2-0 win for the Lions against Portsmouth. Next up is Dougie Deacon. He's 7 years old. He's a passionate footballer, plays for his team Long Lane. Alongside his love of football, he enjoys playing darts and swimming. His favourite Millwall player is Mihailo Ivanovic, and he is predicting a 2-0 win for the Lions tomorrow. Next up we have Emilio Neophytou. He's 7 on 2nd of April. It's his birthday, so happy birthday. And this mascot experience is a perfect birthday celebration. He loves both playing and watching football, and his favourite Millwall players are Jake Cooper, Jafet Tanganga, and Mihailo Ivanovic. He's predicting a 2-0 win for the Lions. Next up, we have Jack Walters. He's 12 years old, is a dedicated Millwall fan. He loves supporting his team, and his favourite player is Jake Cooper. He's backing Millwall to win 2-1 this weekend. Next up, we have Johnny Ryan. Johnny celebrates his 11th birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Johnny! He plays for Welling United's under-11s and also enjoys boxing in his spare time. His favourite Millwall player is Mihailo Ivanovic, and he believes, again, Millwall will win 2-0 on Saturday. Next up, we have Johnny Sullivan. 10-year-old Johnny Sullivan absolutely loves playing football. His favourite player is Jafet Tanganga, and he's predicting a 1-0 win. Next, we have Millie Allen. She's 6, loves gymnastics, and is excited to be a mascot for Millwall this weekend. Her favourite player is Jules Saville, and she hopes for a 4-0 win on Saturday. Well, that would be good. Next up, we have Noah Allen. He's 9 years old, is a huge football fan, and also enjoys gaming. Femi Aziz is his favourite Millwall player, and he predicts a 2-0 win for the Lions this weekend. And up next, we have Rory McLeod Allen. Also a mascot this weekend is Rory McLeod Allen. We hope you all have a fantastic day at the Den. Indeed. So, about that game, I guess we should talk about that then, Why not? This is a game, the Millwall versus Portsmouth fixture, that we win a hell of a lot. More often than we don't win it. This is the historical record of that game from 11v11.com. Now, I would say, although we have won it a lot, there have been a lot long spells of years where we haven't played each other because we haven't been in the same league. We first played them in 1920, Division 3 South, and we won. New Year's Day, 1923 was the first defeat of 3-1. And, after 1923, we didn't play them again until 1967. So there's a big old gap. But, we have only lost in there, 1923, 1972 to 26th of August. So that would have been near the start of the season. We lost 2-0. February 1983, we lost 2-0. And October 1985, we lost 4-0. And then a long old time to the next defeat. 1st of March 2003, we lost 5-0. And then we didn't play them again for 7 years. But when we did play them, obviously they had a spell in the Premier League. They spent all that money and, had a fun old time until they had to pay the bills. They lost we lost 1-0. So, not many defeats. Was that 6 defeats? But some heavy defeats. A 5-0, a 4-0, and a 3-1. Now, you would think, well, I'm sure we've beaten them quite heavily. Well, no. At home, we haven't. The heaviest defeat that we've had heaviest victory we had against them was 3-1. In 8th of December 1969. That was the only 3-1 victory we got. We got a few 3-2s. But so it's a game that, we win, but when we don't win it, it goes very, very wrong in quite a spectacular way. Losing 5-0, losing 4-0, losing 3-1. I would say there is this weird anomaly in the 1990s where we drew this fixture 5 times in a row. In 91, in 93, 2 times in 93, different seasons. In 94 and 96. But apart from that, there has been 3 draws here, 73, 74, 1980. Although weirdly, they're all in December. But apart from that, it's a game we don't lose that much. Not really, and we win it quite often. Last time out, obviously, was in the League Cup, not the one this season. I'm talking about home games. 2021, we won 2-1 in the League Cup. Before that, we won 1-0 in the League Championship, but that was in 2011, and this was in 2021. So again, because they've just come up again, this is their first season back at this level. We've been in different divisions for a fair old time. So there you go. If we look for, what are we on now? We're in the 5th of April. Have we played them in April at home? The 3rd of April in 1993 was a 1-1 draw. And that was the only other time we played them at home in April. So who would have been playing in that? Morley, players like that, I guess. Brannigan, maybe, I don't know. McGinley, was that too soon? So yeah, there's that. That's the history. So let's get on to the more recent. Is this the right one? No, this is the preview. I want this one first. So, the last 6 matches of this fixture. If we do that, oh great! It's let's try that again. If we do that, it only gives us 5. And you know, we've won 3. We haven't drawn any, and we've lost 2. In those 5 games, we have scored 4, but conceded 7. And in that last cup game, they had a player sent off. And we've had 5 yellow cards, they've had 4. So that doesn't, when you think about it like that doesn't look too good. We've only scored 4 goals in the last 5 games at home against Portsmouth. We failed to score in 2 in 2010-2003. And we've kept 2 clean sheets in 2. So doesn't seem to be a high scoring fixture. An average of what, 12? Is that 12? Was it? Yeah, 12 goals in 5 games between both teams. That's not too good. The table as it stands now, if we expand it, who played it? So Middlesbrough played today, did they win? They won. They beat Blackburn. So Blackburn lost, which is good because, you know, this is Blackburn here. If we win, we go here. We go above Blackburn at the least. Depending on the other team's results, we at least gain 1 place if we win. Yeah, because if we draw, we've got a worse goal difference than them. So how much did they lose by? What was the score? I wasn't following it. Oh, they lost 2-0. Okay. But then, look, Middlesbrough win. They go up into 5th. That knocks West Brom down, and I guarantee you, West Brom will probably win tomorrow, and they'll go back up. Because you cannot get rid of West Brom. They are sticking on. They are holding on with their fingertips. So let's go back and talk about tomorrow's game. So Portsmouth were down here for quite a while, and then they start rising up, and you know, just turn it around, and they come out. Especially since the January transfer window, I think they brought in some decent players, well, better than they had, especially defenders, I think, and they've certainly improved somewhat. But as it stands now, you know, they're only 6 points behind us, so you would imagine that they would probably be thinking, well, if we can win tomorrow, you know, we've got a chance of catching up, going up the table, because we reduced the gap to Millwall to 3 points. Yeah. If we go to the form table, and you can see both teams are level. 3 wins, 0 draws, 3 defeats. Well, in the last 6 games, so that's kind of making me think it's going to be a draw tomorrow. Then, like, if we haven't drawn in 6 games, you know, there's going to be a draw. They've scored 6, conceded 6 in 6 games. We've only scored 4 because obviously we cannot score to save our lives, but we have conceded 6. So there you go. If we go to the home form overall, no, that one, yeah, home form. This is our home form. 8 wins, 4 draws, 7 defeats, scoring 20, conceding 17. How is our away form? Ooh, they're one of the worst away teams of the season. So they're the second worst away team altogether. They've won 2, drawn 4, lost 13, scoring 18. So they've scored less than 1 goal per game in away games. They've conceded 43. What the fuck? They've conceded 43 goals in 19 away. That's more than 2 per game. So you would say, well, look. So they've only won 2 away games all season, but look. One of them was 3 games ago against Oxford. Since then, what did they do? They went to Luton and lost 1-0. They went to Preston and lost 2-1. Okay. If we go down here and we do that, this is Mill's last 6 home games, and this is Portsmouth's last 6 away games. So if we start with Mill first, so we know how we've been doing. We kept a clean sheet in our last home game, and we ended up winning them 1-0, although it would have been going to a 0-0 draw. We got a penalty right at the end. But other than that, we haven't been keeping clean sheets at home, which is why our form at home is not too good. We failed to score against Bristol City. Like I said, because we can't score, as soon as we concede 1 goal, in order to win the game, we need to score 2, which is a Sisyphean task for us to do that. So it makes it ever more harder to do. We failed to score against Hull. We lost 1-0, but we did score 2 against Cardiff. We scored 2 against QPR. We scored 1 against West Brom, and we scored that 1 against Stoke. So again, can we keep a clean sheet tomorrow? If we can't, we're going to have to score 2 goals to win the game. Can we do that? Probably not. So what, 1-1 draw? I don't know. But if you look at Portsmouth, they've only failed to score in 2 away games. But weirdly, it's against 2 of the worst teams in the league. So maybe they were trying to be more defensive because they were at the they're still technically in a relegation fight. They're comfortably away from it, but they're still in it. So maybe they changed it up against Luton and Blackburn, because maybe they try to defend, and like when you concede 43 goals in 19 away games, trying to defend when you can't defend is a fool's errand. You probably shouldn't do that. But they conceded against West Brom. They conceded with 5. They did keep a clean sheet against Oxford, the only game that they won. So again, what are the chances of them keeping a clean sheet against us? I think it's quite high, because we have trouble scoring. So if they try and keep a clean sheet against us, it might actually work. Whereas if they tried it against Luton and Blackburn, probably didn't work. So we'll see how we go. I think we need to play 2 up front. We certainly played a lot better when we played 2 up front against Stoke, and we were going at it. And you think, well, why play 2 up front from the start? Why are you going at it from the start? We need to keep it tight and then go for it later. No, because if you do that, if we go 2 up front from the start and we score early, the game's done. We can put the game to bed because we've got a good defence. But if we don't, and we concede early, then it's screwed because we have to score 2. Which is kind of counterintuitive, But if we score early, it's going to be easy for us. So play 2 up front from the start, and then you can change it later. And then, you can bring Emakhu on, or whoever who's got pace. And then if they're coming at us, if they have to attack us, well, then we can counter-attack them. Easy peasy, It's not that hard. So here's the strengths and weaknesses. We have more strengths than they do, and they have more weaknesses than we do. Here's the style of play. Okay. Match facts. Let's have a read of this. Millwall have won their last 5 matches against Portsmouth in all competitions, so that's home and away. Millwall have been winning at both half-time and full-time in the last 4 matches against Portsmouth in all competitions. So again, early goal. Get the early goal. Winning at both half-time and full-time. Because here's the thing. If you're winning at half-time, you're more likely to win at full-time. I think if you look at the betting odds for a team to be losing at half-time and then go on to win the game at full-time, it's generally around about 25-1 before the game kicks off. Right, that's not really how games of football work, especially at this division in second level. If you're leading, you're either going to draw or you're going to win. You very rarely lose. That's not how it goes. They've been under 2.5 goals scored in 7 of Mill's last 8 games in the Championship. Yeah. So let's get on to the prediction from WhoScored.com. What do they predict? Obviously, there's a lot of players out injured for both teams, as we were just talking about. So here we go. Prediction. Millwall were unable to produce a response to Trey Hume's 20th minute goal last weekend as the London club suffered defeat in the hands of a top 6 Sunday Sunderland. The Lions lost 3 of their last 5 Championship fixtures but remain on the fringes of the playoff push, 6 points off the pace. Portsmouth took a giant stride in their direction of Championship survival last weekend where Josh Murphy's first half goal sealed a 1-0 home win against a free-falling Blackburn side. On the road, Pompey have lost 9 of their last 10 league fixtures, making back-to-back victories an unlikely outcome. Wow. So they've lost 9 of their last 10. So they haven't even drawn any. They won 1 game and lost 9. Although, to be fair, I think they're in a similar position to us and Plymouth in terms of they have a lot of travelling to do. We're the southeastern furthest club. Plymouth are the most southwestern. I think Portsmouth obviously the most southern. And in order to go away to away games, you've got a lot of travelling to do. So that's not ideal. But they predict Millwall 1, Portsmouth 0. Now, moving on to this from sportsmole.com, I'm just going to cut it short and go straight down to their prediction, even though they've written up. One thing to note, though, see the picture of Liam Roberts. Goalkeeper Liam Roberts will serve the final game of a 6-match ban for this game, so he's available for the Sheffield United game. So, sportsmole.co.uk, they say, Millwall 2, Portsmouth 1. Mill have tended to fare well in meetings with Portsmouth, and we think they will claim a 6th consecutive head-to-head victory by making full use of home advantage to record a narrow win in Saturday's contest. Here's the thing. It's about 2/3 say Mill are going to win, and 1/3 saying Portsmouth are going to win, which is kind of weird. Maybe Portsmouth fans, or Palace fans who hate Millwall. If we play 2 up front, we'll win this quite comfortably, probably 2-0. If we don't, we could come unstuck. It would not surprise me. Here's the thing. Do I think he's going to play 2 up front? He might play 2 up front because we do have, Langstaff's back now. So we have the striker on the bench. Before, when he played 2 up front, he played Ivanovic and Coburn up front. And there was not really a striker on the bench. Connolly was on the bench, but he's not really a striker. He's a forward, but not a striker. So I think we could see. Well, if we do, here's the thing: if we do play 2 up front, I think we're going to win the game. If we don't, we could come unstuck. So I have to predict my prediction based on what I think he's going to select the team. I don't think he's not probably going to go 2 up front from the start, even though he said he was going for it. If Cundle plays again, like Cundle in the last game was atrocious, and then I looked online afterwards and people were praising him, saying he played really well. He's playing in number 10. He's picking the ball up and turning around and running back to Tanganga. Like, bro, you need to go forward. And if you can't go forward, then, don't play in the number 10 role. That's what you're there for. I think he was told, like, keep possession at all costs, which, is useless. You need to do something. You drop a shoulder and take a shot. Like, do something. Even if it's a defender. You get a corner. We only had, only 1 corner in the game. So, yeah, if Cundall plays, again, we're at a disadvantage. If Bangor Williams plays and he's okay to play, I think we're at an advantage. So, it very much does depend on the team selection. I'm going to go 1-1, just because both clubs haven't drawn for a while, and Portsmouth haven't drawn for a while. I think it's going to be a 1-1 defeat, if that makes sense. I think we're going to play better than them, but we're not going to win the game. It's going to be 1-1. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.